Self-rejection. Self-rejection is the root of all of your suffering. Self-rejection is the act of denying aspects of yourself, of telling yourself that you're too much or too crazy or too emotional or too tall or too short or too rich or too poor. It's you telling yourself that you're too arrogant, that you're too kind, that you're too anything. It's you saying, this piece of me is wrong. This piece, I need to figure out how to manage this. I need to get this out of me because it's holding me back. And in order to truly transcend these things that we think we need to offload and get out of ourselves because we perceive them as supposed character defects, the antithesis of self-rejection is self-acceptance. We have to accept these parts of ourselves, these aspects of ourselves, before we can truly transcend them. And transcend does not mean, okay, then we'll finally be able to just offload them completely, because no character trait ever goes down to zero. We can't just remove aspects of our personality 100%. Again, the point is self-acceptance. It's not saying, I'm arrogant, so how do I get this down to 0%? No, it's about accepting, you know what, sometimes I can display or have arrogance. And by owning and accepting that part of me, now it doesn't have control over me. Now it doesn't own me. One quick example of this that I can speak to is I'm a highly sensitive person. And because of this, I've had a lot of clients that have been attracted to my work over the last decade or so that are also highly sensitive. And just like there was a phase in my life where I thought I'm too sensitive or I'm too emotional, how do I quell this? How do I how do I stop feeling so much? How do I stop having environmental stimuli affect me so much? And as long as I was in opposition to myself, as long as I was self-rejecting, I would never be able to really make peace with myself. And so this self-rejection would wreak havoc in my life in a number of ways. And just like Neo in The Matrix finally letting go of fighting Agent Smith, and spoiler alert, at the very end of the third movie in the Matrix trilogy, Agent Smith reaches into Neo's heart, and by Neo allowing this, accepting this thing to happen, of essentially allowing the darkness to integrate into him and allowing it in with love and acceptance, that's when he was able to, break the Matrix and everyone lived happily ever after because love won the day. What was really happening there is self-acceptance was winning out over self-rejection. And again, there's so many examples of this. Luke Skywalker cutting off Darth Vader's head and then seeing his own face in Darth Vader's helmet. Again, that's Luke having been fighting the dark side inside of himself and then realizing that the shadow figure, the person outside of himself that he thought he was battling, was actually just an aspect of himself that he eventually had to come to terms with. So stop fighting yourself. Stop convincing yourself that any part of you is wrong or unlovable or unworthy of belonging. Everything about you is perfect and lovable, and the only piece of you that you tell yourself are not worthy or not lovable, those are the parts that still need love from you first and foremost, and then from others. So I'm Jordan from JordanGrayConsulting.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, let me know what you thought, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel to be notified of any future videos. All right, thank you for watching, and take care.